Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the ESL Open Cup Korea edition. We have a Terran and a Protoss. Let me introduce, in the top right for Team Alpha, an American player, but training in Korea recently. A top Grandmaster, but can he compete? Let's find out. It's Astrea. And in the bottom left, possibly the best Terran player in the world right now. Making major waves for pretty much since the end of the 2019 season up until today, and counting. Every aspect of his play looking maybe not unbeatable, but he seems to have graduated from the level of that Terran that you have to get through in order to get to the higher level of GSL or whatever tournament, to the Terran player to beat. From Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Cure. Eternal Empire. Protoss versus Terran. I would love to see Cure break out the mech. I haven't really seen it from him. I'm seeing a lot more mech versus Protoss than last year, or essentially ever in StarCraft 2 history. I think this is partially because there were some between slight and significant buffs to mech, including the Thor having a lot more anti-air capability with its increased attack speed. Lower damage, but increased attack speed means it can handle air units better, more maneuverable. Liberator range being on a fusion core as opposed to attack lab, meaning you can continue mass production of Liberators. That's more for bio, but Infernal Pre-Igniter getting a 50-50 discount, and just generally players exploring different unit compositions as well. There was like a month or two of 2019 where people were making it happen, and then Protoss players remembered that Archons and Immortals are good. We'll see if that happens here. I'm already assuming he goes mech. I don't know what he does, but we'll see. Stargate is on the way. Halfway done. Will the Reaper spot it? Protoss players have kind of shied away from walling against the Reaper. It's just so much commitment to wall this location, as well as being vulnerable either early or late, depending on what the Terran wants to do. And not all Terrans are making a Reaper nowadays as well. So building most of your early buildings around that one Reaper seems maybe a little excessive. Couple Hellions on the way. Phoenix starts. He opens up with the Phoenix. No Oracle. So we'll see. Sending it directly to the left side. I think that's partially to scout for proxies, but also expecting, of course, if any air units are going to come in. Cure is getting Cloak. And keeps making my dreams maybe slightly less memes when it comes to the mech. Cloak Banshees, it's not a guarantee, but with each round of Hellions built, and each Banshee as well early on, increases the likelihood of my beautiful, incredible, just handsome mech play being the choice. Reaper and 4 Hellions. There's not any wall to stop them, just a single Adept. They go straight to the mineral line. Astrea, oh, but Cure missed a shot on the Nexus and then missed a shot on the Adept. This is more Cure kind of botching this attack than doing a lot of damage. Oh, this could have been so much more. But at the end of the day, he gets 5 probes, but for all of those units, Astrea, he pulled the probes, but Cure missed a couple volleys of Hellion fire there that could have really lit up the probes. I'd say a pretty big mistake there. Somewhat uncharacteristic as well. I don't know what happened, but Cloak Banshee's sneaking around. Everybody sliding their air units all over the place. Nexus on the way. Is there going to be... Oh, he did get a Robo. The Phoenix is coming in. Looking to slow down depots, kill SCVs, anything they can. First observer coming out. The Phoenixes are on the wrong side of the map, but they should be recalled in a moment to help deal. Yeah, there we go. The observer's here. The Phoenixes are recalled. And the Banshee is a light unit, so he'll be taken down pretty quick. He loses 4 more probes, but glancing blow. Not nearly as much damage as could have been done. Wow, and the second observer, the scouting observer from before, he scouts and successfully kills the second Banshee. So Astrea off to a strong start here in Game 1. He's got a third base up. Cure has a third command center. He's all about that. It's going to be bio. Korean Terrans love that big transition into bio. Besides TY. I shouldn't be stereotyping. I haven't seen too many Terran players out of Korea besides like TY, Cure, and a little bit of Maru lately. Has Innovation been playing these tournaments? I think so. But online tournaments were never his forte. Double Forge, Robo Bay, and Twilight Council, as well as a bunch more gateways. And a 4th base. So Astrea has decided he's going to go ahead and just get everything. So, good for him. If he could drag the Cyclone to the corner, he might be able to pick it off. But 1-1 starts. Twilight is done. Colossus in production. Third command center on the way. The observer is in a great spot. 2 spot for anything coming out. It has just enough vision to see the left path without being in an obvious location to get scanned. Okay, you need to stop. Somebody stop this man. That's enough. I get it. The 4th base are a little greedy, but you can maybe get away with it. The 5th base is just gratuitous. Come on. Like, did you really... Oh. The observer placement showing its strength here. The scan missed it by that much. Come on, Astrea. Whoop. 1 Phoenix goes down, getting quite greedy on this. So how many units does he actually have? He has the variety pack. We got 3 Zealots, 3 Adepts, couple Sentries, Immortal. Colossus shows up to the party. Phoenix is having a tough time. There are actually 2 Cyclones as well. Cure's coming out with a strong Terran army, and Astrea has decided to get everything but units. If he can survive this, of course, he's going to be in a good spot. He's at 76 probes and counting. 6 more gateways are finishing up. 1-1 is closing in for both sides. Chrono Boost is pretty good. Charge is not too far off. Same with Extended Thermal Lance. There's only 1 tank. Okay, 2nd tank. He did build those clones, which cut down on the tank count. There's still a couple Phoenixes that can potentially lift 1 or both. But with Charge and Thermal Lance, Astrea is going to be in a much better position to deal with this. Holding ice, trying to keep that sentry alive. Charge is done. Oh, that's a lot of Terran. A whole lot of reinforcements showing up to the party. There's only 1 pylon here to power all this warping. There is no counterattack potential for Astrea. He doesn't have anything out on the map. He's focusing everything on dealing with this. Warps in some Zealots at the natural. Hold position. Trying to make sure he doesn't get baited into tank fire. There are 4 tanks now. I think Cure's about to realize there's another army. A few Zealots coming in for the flank. Looking to draw tank fire into different directions. The pickups, are they there? No. Phoenixes, 1 picked up, put right back down. But the charge lots come in from the back. Another big wave of charge lots from the north. The Colossus breaking through, and the charge lots have broken the tanks as well. And suddenly Astrea holds on to his 3 bases. He's got 2-2 on the way. Cure just started his, but that means Astrea will have an upgrade advantage if all things continue this direction. So Cure, he realizes there's a 4th. Okay. But will he ever realize there's a 5th? That probe almost giving things away. Only 1 pylon at these bases is maybe a bit of an oversight. Even more probes. I guess they're being transferred. There's some Vikings in the mix here. Guardian Shield helping out. Force Field. Force Fields work both ways. Another Colossus shows up to the party. Vikings continuing forward over the top of the Nexus. Oh, the Stalker's trying to fight, but Astrea just doesn't have the units to fight here. Another pylon on the way. He's desperately trying to get as many units as possible. Another group of zealots. Astrea trying to hold on to these bases. The Nexus at half HP. No shields left. Cure is building a fourth. He's still... Plenty of production from Curious. 77 SCVs. He's doing fine. Oh, that pylon. The Nexus itself under attack. The Nexus. What a save. If he has enough to break this, he might be able to keep the Nexus. And the medevacs are nearly out of energy. Down goes the final tank, and Astrea holds it the last possible second. Astrea, his greed just enough. Cure a bit indecisive, and now 2-2 will be done. A scan on the left side. He saw the probes transferring before. He's like, oh, come on, man. That's not a good feeling as a Terran. The fact he got driven back there is already surprising, but now seeing even if you commit and kill that base, then Is that a Storm Prism? No. Charge Lance. Is there even Storm? In fact, I don't know if there's a Templar Archives. There is. Gravitic Drive is on the way. Warp Prism Speed. Enhanced Shockwaves from the Ghosts. 3 more racks from Cure. He's going to focus on those value units. He's been incrementing out Vikings. I believe he only has 1 Starport still. 2 Starports. He's not building out of the second one. 83 to 83 workers. Pretty even. So Astrea, while he has a maxed out army, he mixed a few Archons in. It's still not... This army composition is not the deadly, multiple, like every flavor of splash damage, storm, what have you. This is brute force. A couple Colossi, a couple Archons, but Charge Lots in the wrong spot and some EMP could make a big difference. That planetary isn't done yet, but it's going to be done by the time this army comes together. The War Prism in the main. EMP comes through, but it doesn't stop the War Prism from warping in. Reinforcements coming back. Astrea engaging the planetary simultaneously. The planetary being targeted. The planetary is gone, and Astrea will pull back. Meanwhile, in the main base, the Warp Prism is down, and so will all the Zealots it spawned. So will be all the Zealots it spawned. You got the idea. Two more robotics facilities. Astrea has now correctly realized that while his army was good for bullying Cure around, at some point Cure is going to max out. And his army might actually be better. With that many ghosts and starport support units, if you don't have storm, disruptors, some other opportunities for splash damage, the Bioterran will just be tearing through you. 3-3 on the way, but going to be done for Astrea much quicker. Already done with +3 weapons. Adding on the 2 Robos. Dark Shrine as well. Just throwing everything in there. He's got, what, 6 bases? A division of charge lots in the corner. Honestly, he wants to trade these out and mix in some more valuable units. Sorry, charge lots. Observers spotting the army. Did Cure notice? I'm not sure now what Cure is going to be waiting for. He knows he's down on economy, but he really wants to have the best army composition possible. More charge lots split off. It's not a wall, but it is cost effective. A scan looking for observers. Astrea's observer placement impeccable again. This observer's been chilling here the whole game. Okay, can Cure see it? No, it's just barely out of turret range. Meanwhile, charge lots trying to work towards the planetary. Rebuffed. DT Blink, +1 shields, and 3 disruptors at a time on the way, replacing those charge lots who were strategically eliminated from the match. Now that's more of a... While a smaller Protoss army in pure thickness, what it doesn't have in thickness, it makes up in quality. The danger balls, the big blue balls, and everything underneath, or above. Not really underneath. It's it's really underneath Colossi. Where are these charge lots going? Not charge lots. Wow, I can't even say any words today. Look. Energy sword guys and men with guns and drugs. Ah. Arkansas. So, the Terran army moving up towards one of Astrea's many bases. He can afford to lose one or two and still be okay on economy. Still some charge lots. He snipes the Ghost Academy, which is kind of a weird scenario. EMPs. Vikings looking for a snipe on the Colossi, but they will move. Astrea lets the base go. The probes in a dangerous position. I'm not sure what Astrea is watching right now, but the charge lot's getting a lot of damage done. Still more on the right. In fact, Astrea might have a few too many probes. He's struggling to have the army in all the positions he needs it. Cure will stabilize. He lost some SCVs, but that's not nearly the end of the world. He has plenty of mules to make up the difference, and he's maxed out with more army supply, which at the end of the day could decide this. All right, one decisive fight for a well-controlled Terran army. Cure has shown anti-disruptor micro before in very not like that, though. Direct hit, center mass, DT blink, down goes the planetary. Astrea, two big strikes on two sides of the map, back to back, within a second of each other. And the orbital is building. The orbital will never live to see the light of day. No scans from you, but the Venn diagram of freedom will hold this position at the bottom of the ramp. More shots fired. Cure, no reaction. Devastating damage. Why did I even bring up his disruptor micro? There's one ghost. One ghost and one marine are the only survivors on the ground. The disruptors got everyone else, which means the Blinkstalkers and Archons move forward, devastated on the ground. The Vikings looking for an opportunity. They get the Colossi, but now they have to get the hell out of there, and most of them won't survive. Cure driven back down. His loss is mounting. He lost a key base. He lost a lot of his, well, the Liberator count he's been building up for a while. Advanced Ballistics is now done for 0 Liberators, which isn't incredibly many. He's building 3 at a time. The Observers, well, that was scanning for DTs, but the Observers for Astrea are the real MVPs here. It sounds kind of silly, but his Observer placement has maybe not won him the game, but put him at a decisive advantage. Those disruptor shots, obviously, finding less purchase. But if you can bait and switch, keep them distracted for a split second. That's all it takes to land the walk-off shot. The one that finally just breaks his back. These Liberators, good luck getting through there between a rock and a hard place. Astrea has the entire top half of the map. Still got 82 probes. He's got 6K, 2K in the bank. Does he have a Stargate? He does. Wait, did this game open with Stargate? It did. Another nice hit. DTs with blink. More scans. I think he finally scanned the Observer. Just barely. In the natural. Eviscerated. This planetary. Obliterated. The bleeding. Coagulated, but the series in question. I tried. Viking on the deck, charge lots everywhere. He's got 7,000 minerals to spend, and he literally can't spend it fast enough. He only has 16 gateways. Okay, well, okay. The Liberators finish off the Prism. Cure still has a huge army, but he can't max out when he keeps losing all his production and his SCVs, let alone his command centers. The Disruptors, one fires. He has to split instead of just letting its bio do his damage. Not a great fight for Astrea. Another shot, though. Landing. The fadeaway was good. Still, Cure. Every unit he loses is tough to replace, whereas Astrea is just deciding what he wants to replace it with. 2 Warp Prisms, plus 2 shields. Astrea's expanding to the bottom right. He's already expanded to the right side. We're going to be looking at 10 Nexi here. Oh, 9 for now. But he can get the left side one as well, sure. This is getting a little disgusting. Manifest Destiny from the American Protoss. Cure. What do you even do? At this point, the economies are so devastatingly imbalanced. Cure's... He has to take such a decisive fight that, ideally on Astrea's side of the map as well, before he can rebuild all these powerful units. Astrea's not going to let that happen. A double prism. If at first you don't succeed, build another prism. And then also build another prism. He's going to warp in a bunch of zealots. I think there's some DTs in there as well. He scans, but guess what? Astrea's over here too. EMPs across the board. Where are the disruptor shots? A little sloppy there. And yeah, the curveballs don't really find the mark. Yeah, that one doing okay. It's not a planetary on this side. This was definitely disjointed. This was not a perfect fight out of Astrea here. That. Ooh. Oh, look, Storm! Remember that? Cure takes a winning fight. But now there's just a whole wave of gateway units. The medevacs haven't even had the time to heal. EMPs land, but if they're not taking hits because there's not enough units to shoot them, doesn't even matter. Cure is tearing through everything that comes down the ramp, but good luck stepping up it. The Liberators can hold some backbone of a position. There's just so many charge lots. He blinks forward, targets one Liberator. Down goes the second. But the Terran army starting to do pretty well here. There's some cannons. The shield battery's out of energy. DT's warped in. A Colossus is being built, but Cure is truly threatening here. This is happening. I don't think Cure is going to be very happy to see this. That is eventually the fight that Cure kind of needed. It wasn't the decisive, oh, you have nothing kind of engagement that he would have hoped for. But you take what you can get. Astrea has now lost several thousand more resources, but when he has approximately 4 more bases, I don't think he's going to be too worried. He's had almost double the workers for a while. Mules, of course, very important. Down goes the kind of just next is the placeholder nexus almost. The splash damage is... Okay, there's a disruptor. I was about to say only Colossi, but mixing in other forms. A whole bunch of units just cutting off reinforcements. Cure taking fights he can win and trying to avoid those he can't, but Astrea is everywhere. He still has money in the bank, though his bank has dwindled somewhat. Add-ons being uninstalled. Another army is just medevacs, a disruptor! Pretty decent connection, another shot, trying to curve full split. Most things have been cleaned up, but not all. The ghost looks like it'll die before the zealots do. Cure is scrambling. Another shot. He's fishing. And it doesn't, like, as long as he... The Observer Micro! Observer Micro, so key. He does have Observer Speed. Cure's trying to expand to the bottom right. Astrea's trying to say something about that. By the way, this... Cure's still stuck in his well, this same location. He managed to win that one fight, but the war is still very much in doubt. Storm doing okay. Even more flavors of splash damage coming in. Down. Will it burn? Doesn't look like it. One SCV's there to save it. Another. Oh no. Big hit. Cure can't take a single one of those, and he just did. Directly to the forehead. That disruptor killing at least one ghost and maybe 10 supply of bio. The observer's spotting the army rallying. Astrea just waiting until he breaks. He's bending. He's bending! The breaking point has to be soon, he says. Disruptor, exploratory shot. Some DTs. Gonna force a scan. You're getting kind of a pseudo-concave, but is there much he can do with it? He's still on the defensive. Astrea, banking money, maxed out, has most of the tech in the book. He doesn't have a fleet beacon, technically, but He's not up against ranged liberators. This planetary, Astrea finally decides it's time for it to die, and Cure is supply blocked. Another sacrificial battalion of zealots is split off, killing what little SCVs there are left. He's trying to expand, but the charge lets the army is dwindling each time. There are 3 Colossi with this. There's some Vikings. EMP's gonna drive it back for now. Reinforcements cut off. 10 more SCVs went down. The mineral income is a little less than equal. The Terran army steps forward. The last fight. Big disruptor hits, making the connections. And Cure is wiped out by the American Protoss in game number 1. What a play. Looking like greed pays off. It looked a little dicey on those first pushes, but Astrea, when you have 6 bases of mining, at that point you just have to figure out what to spend your money on. It's not a question of whether you'll have the money, it's just what to spend it on. So, you're underestimating his greed in game 1. But I've seen Cure doesn't really get tilted. I've seen plenty of turnarounds for him.
Hell, it's about time.
Tychus, could you calm down? But we'll see. And that style, that particular style, I don't really see it working again. There's almost no other maps that it's going to be a real opportunity. Eternal Empire, I believe, is the largest map in the pool and the easiest to defend outlying bases because of the sheer distance against Terran players. But we'll see. Triton is definitely not a map you're going to be quadruple expanding or whatever. Probe Scout going out off a gate. Now on against Reaper again. How do you follow that up if you're Astrea? Like, a lot of players will go up a game and take their shot. It's like, now I'm going to do my, I don't know, Blink All-In, or my Proxy Stargate, or something on, or if depending on the matchup, maybe Cannon Rush. It is a best of 3, so you don't have a lot of room to work with. The Probe Scouts, and these guys, these are not the players. If you want to see, like, the crazy, say, Parting versus Bly style of subverting the entire metagame in favor of whatever game they're playing. No, these guys are pretty religious followers of the meta. Though Cure especially has some part in defining it. As such a high-level player. And that means Reaper expand, 1 gate expand, maybe adding a slight proxy, like a proxy starport or Stargate, but other than that. First Reaper. Most annoying unit in the game besides a probe, am I right? Well, depending on who you ask. The amount of annoyance and grief and high blood pressure that probes have caused in proportion to both their cost and just anything else, I think puts them at the very tippy top for the most annoying units in StarCraft. Oh, what is this? It's actually Cure going for it. This is a Hellion drop. This isn't a particular, like, aha, got you, but if you catch him off guard. The Reaper almost leading the Adept to it as well, by the way. It would have to come around this corner, but this is one of the least investment, the least risk, highest reward builds. Because if they defend it. The worst case scenario, oh my god. Well, that doesn't help Astrea. But if they defend it, worst case scenario is you lost everything and now you don't have enough units to defend. But if you keep them busy and you manage your Hellion drop well, then it's really not that much gas. It's not that many minerals. And it hits, like, the amount of... If they don't react instantly, probes are dying. Even if they do react instantly, probes are dying. Even if he drops on that pylon, probes are dying. The question is how many. Oh. Oh, he gave it an attack. Doesn't matter, though. Probes are dying. He's trying to split. There's only Stalkers to deal with this. 8. Oh, my. And meanwhile, as well, the Reaper finding some action. And he picks up... Oh, the hell. Get out of here. Get out of here with this. No. What? 16 probes, and he got out with the medevac and all 4 Hellions. He only lost the Reaper. This makes up for all the terrible calls before. I hope. Well, he's super dead. Super ridiculously dead. That was almost the best possible case scenario for that situation. I want to thank Artosis for the raid. Hopefully you had a good normal blood pressure stream. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm casting the top 4 of the ESL Open Cup Korea, which was played. Yes, it's played early in the day on Sunday. Not an incredible time for me, but as a ESL partnered caster, or whatever we're calling it, I get access to the replays. So I thought I would take a look. I'm not disappointed. But thank you guys for being here. And thank you, Artosis. The best dad in e-gaming. Astrea, I don't blame him. Like, you can't really blame him for that. You could be like, why don't you fight it out? He can't kill you right now. You just lost 16 probes, and all you killed was a Reaper. Just tap it out. Just... Let's move on. It's something of a mental thing, too, because if you play a game for, like, another 3-4 minutes just to eventually lose, like, there's a 99.5% chance you will, then that might carry over into Game 3, so... Probe scouting for Proxy Rex. It is a Korean Terran. It is Game 3. There might be a Proxy Rex. Honestly, any Terran. No Terran gets this... no Terran gets to this high level. Essentially, as a Terran player, you either quit before getting high enough level to Proxy Rex every game, or Proxy Rex occasionally in very important matches. Or you live long enough to see yourself Proxy Rexing in those scenarios. Cure, though, he's going to play his standard solid Terran, as he always says. 1 Rex expand. And I do stress, the Hellion drop play is... It's not a big deal. It's not a big cause. It's not a big investment. Even if you don't scout it, you can't be losing 16 probes. So Astrea, some of the best ways to deal with it are 1, scout it, 2, open Stargate, and that's why Stargate is a pretty common response, because having an Oracle or some Phoenixes will give you a very direct response to it. If you go Twilight, you're just left in kind of an awkward situation without that many units early, and we saw that there. Speaking of Twilight, he's adding on the sentry. It's likely to be Blink. He's got the scouting pylon mostly. He doesn't want that exact same thing to happen again. It's not going to happen again because Cure isn't doing it again. He's going for the 1-1-1, keeping his factory back from the wall where it won't be easily scouted by, especially in a depth shade. And Astrea will get the chance to actually complete the Blink upgrade. We'll see what he does with it. Some players will go 2-gate Blink in the third. Some players, like Party, are like, I don't actually care what I'm doing. I'm still going to Blink into your main. There is no third gate on the way. It's probably the more defensive play, but we'll see. The Reaper thought about it. Had to turn around. A Hellion scouting for proxies, as it's not going to be a run by this time. A Medevac on the way. Oh, Widowmine drop. Or he could be fancy and combine. He could be fancy and combine like a Hellion Widowmine run by with a drop or something like that, but we'll see. It is Blink. It is 2-gate third. We're playing a good old-fashioned macro game. Just like the people on Battle.net forums love. Wait until he gets stormed, though. 2 forges. It's going to be the brute force mass gateway charge lot style, more than likely. There's no robotics facility yet out of Astrea. The Widowmine drop or potential drop is scouted, but the Hellion Reaper moves into the net. Still kind of dangerous, but... Oh, Astrea, don't take the bait like that. Alright. He's going to kill 3 probes, 4 probes, more than you can expect usually with this, but he's very ready for the medevac. So ready that... Oh, gets down with 2. The Widowmines will burrow, but he should be able to... Okay. Alright. Better early game. Oh. We didn't... Okay. We didn't really need to lose that, but... Better early game for Astrea than losing 16 probes in GG. Yes. But most of his options were scouted. Cure saw the double forge. He should realize this is going to be the heavy Stalker charge lot. What is his response? 2-base timing. Does he pull the boys? No, usually with this, you take a third while you're moving out. When you attack, expand. When you're expanding, attack, etc., etc. There's going to be an inflection point where Cure's army is strongest, which is Stim Combat Shield, +1 and 2 medevacs. And if he can take advantage of that before Astrea reaches a critical mass of units, there's an auto turret that the Raven get any kills. 1 kill. If he can take advantage of that before Astrea has enough charge lots with 1-1, there you go. There's your options. Cure, 3rd command center. Astrea, 4th nexus. He's not shy. And another auto turret. By the way, the Raven, he's using his energy on the Raven, though. So no potential for anti-armor missile anytime soon. Cure is focusing, even though he's going to be down in economy, mildly, he's focusing more on the long term than, I need this attack to work. So many Terrans just get so focused on, I need this attack to work, otherwise he's going to do Protoss things. Not Cure. Oh, Astrea incidentally hitting a medevac. Just now finding the army on its way across. That's a lot of Terran. How many gates are online? Poking and prodding. Forced to back off with a blink cooldown. 1-1 is done. +1 isn't yet done for Cure. Doesn't get an opportunity to drag out those Widowmines. He blinks away from 1. If +1 finishes, then Cure's army is going to get a lot more cost effective. What is this? A Reaper still forcing the chase. He just flies the Raven into the main. The Raven Reaper harass team, an unlikely duo. Meanwhile, the Terran army is going to jump a Guardian Shield. The Widowmine connections, not everything Cure needed, but 4 probes go down to the R&R team. More Widowmines thinning out the charge lots and spreading the damage over the shields. Astrea does have a 4th, but he's down in probes. Starts 2-2 immediately. Is there an armory for Cure? Armory is not yet started. Raven targeted down. A little out of position here. Cure not going to jump on it. He's almost out of... Well, he's out of energy on his medevacs. And these units need to go to rehab, or they need to go all in. Only a single Widow Mine. A couple more coming up. He can maybe... doesn't get the mine. Another reinforcing group of units, and especially medevacs. Force fields, a little off the mark. Astrea trying to keep the weapons up, but Cure still being pretty cost-effective. He's gotten a very important any amount of units that either distract Cure or catch him out of position. That's so important right now. The Widow Mines will connect. Those Widow Mines doing a great job, but the charge lots are in the mineral line as well. 4 SCVs and counting. Reinforcements will move to intercept. Not doing as much as Astrea might have liked, but he will drag the reinforcements away, giving him more and more opportunity to overwhelm the army, at least for now. The charge lots still haven't been dealt with. Finally will do so. 2-2 is closing in. That Terran army, it's waiting for its opportunity. Still a couple Widow Mines. Medevacs out of energy. Astrea's waiting for 2-2, I think. But if he waits too long, the reinforcements are going to be here. Armory's now finished up. He's just going to go. He's trying to snipe the medevacs. Gets 2. Widow Mines connect, but there's not enough Terran to stop this. Big force fields there. Charge lots get a lot of surface area. Blink Stalker's too far forward. Astrea biting off more than he can chew. And without the upgrade advantage, these units just aren't incredibly cost-effective. The medevacs with energy have joined up. The sentries are gone, and all their expensive gas, well, maybe 1 or 2 live, but just the one. Blinks to the side. Still looking for target fire here. Gets another Widow Mine. Charge lots continually being warped in. It's a 2 upgrade advantage for Astrea. But the supply gap is widening as Cure continues to build up. The medevacs out of energy, and some of them soon to be out of life. The charge lot's hard to take down. The Stalker's doing a lot of important sniping here. But the constant rally and reinforcements, there's nothing to stop these. Gets another Marauder. Astrea has started 3-3. He's down a handful of workers, but Mules... Wait, Mules even widened that gap some more. I guess Astrea has more bases to mine from, so that helps a bit. This is essentially a tug of war. Once Cure finishes +2 and or gets Ghosts out, though, we're going to be right back where we were. Astrea is trying to keep those medevacs out of energy. Rarely is it a real strategy to try to drain the energy of medevacs, but Astrea is using it here. Oh, misses the opportunity to force field the bridges. 3 more charge lots heading out. Is there anything to stop him? Widow Mines. Smart move from Cure. He still has plenty of Widow Mines here as well. Enhanced shockwaves on the way. No Ghosts yet. Yeah, no Ghosts added in, but continues building those SCVs. Astrea has shored up the worker differential. The charge lot that survived the Widow Mine field. Taken out by some reinforcements. Astrea really trying to find an opportunity. He doesn't have anything but the upgrades, though, which means even in the long term, there might be a 3-3 overwhelming timing, but Cure is going to be maxed out. He has Ghosts on the way. He has a bunch of Widow Mines, but you don't care very much about your upgrades, if at all. So Astrea is... With 3-3, he has to make something happen. He doesn't have splash damage on the way. The charge lots are looking to come in from the back, or at least deal with the reinforcements. That's a lot of Terran here. This is it. This is his opportunity. He's not going to have the upgrades done. Widow Mine hits across the board. The 4th base under fire. Cure can target it down. He might just be able to get out. 1 medevac. 2. Still plenty left over. Cure's 4th command center is halfway done, and Astrea just lost his 4th nexus. And 15 probes as well. That is not what you want. Oh my god. Well, the EMP and Widow Mines combining to strip away most of the shields. 3-3 is done. A 2 upgrade advantage for now 3 upgrade advantage. And now you see the charge lots with the upgrades just so incredibly strong. The SCV train, they might not want to be here. The mineral force fields. Astrea's breaking through. And yes, upgrades do matter that much. That's the summary. The 4th base goes down. And now Cure finishes the +2 armor. But all it takes is 1 decisive fight. And Astrea's right back. Oh my. And also Widow Mines are good. The Widow Mines keeping him at bay for now. A Robo Bay and another Robo, as well as 2 Nexi behind. Astrea's right back in it. He's still struggling on the worker count, but if he can get splash damage up before Cure stabilizes... Is there a 4th command center? Well, there's a 4th command center who's just hidden in the main. Funny how that works. +3. Closing in on completion. Enhanced shockwaves for the ghost done. The SCV count is still strong. Astrea, it's such a hard call not committing there. Like, you want to fight. You really want to take that, run with it, and go for the whole war. But you go too far and you're right back where you started, or worse, you've just lost the game. Oh, even dodges an EMP there. The Disruptors, good in game 1. Have a chance to for a repeat performance, an encore. He gets 2 ghosts. The ghosts don't have cloak. Almost gets the last one, but the medevac doing a great job. Cure desperately trying to get that 4th up. He's still got mining on his nats and on his 3rd, but the patches are drying out. 3 Disruptors. They're spotted. We have to see that Cure anti-disruptor micro. Big shot and decent connection. Gonna lose one of the Disruptors targeted. Another hit. The EMPs were good to start. A lot of charge lots being split off. Astrea has to buy time for the cooldowns. Where there aren't more Disruptors. Everything's on cooldown right now. How long? The charge lots are going to make things very dicey. Those charge lots could have helped with the army, but of course, dealing with the economy is more of a long-term investment. Disruptors. Curves it into a mine. 13 SCVs go down. The boys were actually pulled for a bit. He lost 18 SCVs with this. Some charge lots heading towards the net. Astrea making hard calls. But now that he has this back left base, Cure now underwater in the worker count, but he still has the mules. Killing this? That Warp Prism. That Warp Prism could have done so much in so many ways. But instead it does nothing as Cure catches it, angling towards the left side. That Warp Prism in the natural. There's no turrets. There's no bunkers or anything to defend. He could have warped in a dozen charge lots and made it so Cure was essentially all in, which is where Disruptors thrive. But no. Now we're in a full-fledged, full-map game. Cure still with a much bigger army supply, but Disruptors can change that very quickly. Upgrades, well, +1 shields is finishing for Astrea, who's still leaning on those danger balls. The army, he's going to be spotted. There's only 2 medevacs with this, but Disruptors once again don't care about medevacs. One shot forces him to stim back. A very forward blank, but gets a ghost. Whoa, 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 you got to be a little careful here. Still a big Terran army on the right side. Maybe Astrea getting a little ahead of himself, almost shooting his own army. Everything, both sides, 1 or 2 seconds of mistakes, and 2 robotics facilities exposed. Wait, those are both of his robos. Wait, doesn't he have a 3rd robo somewhere? It doesn't matter anymore. The army's moving around. He's going to keep his Disruptors. Astrea comes back with enough gateway units. He keeps his key splash damage forward. He understands the threat. Isn't forced to use any of his, his recall. Does Cure go for this? Cure's maxed out. Astrea is not. Oh, the danger balls, the volley, the target fire, damage on both sides, devastating. Cure wins the first half of the fight, and the Disruptors fire back, but not in nearly as high number as they could have. The natural is exposed. He brought the rest of the reinforcements into the fray, and this is where the damage starts to stack up. While the Disruptors did well, but did well enough? What? Robotics facilities targeted. The key units going to be interrupted, and well, you can't really produce without a robo. Meanwhile, Cure's still moving in. Disruptor shot, curveball, airball. Looking for more. 2 ghosts this time, but they already fired EMP. Another fadeaway. Astrea is crumbling. Cure is tearing him apart. There's not much splash damage left. There's not an overwhelming army count. There aren't the upgrades anymore. He's looking for a saving grace, but he's not gonna find any redemption. Cure has outmaneuvered him just enough. And this bio army is... There's only 1 Disruptor. That's not enough Disruptor. Even 1 massive Disruptor hit wouldn't be enough to break the back of this army. I'm about to be proven Wrong? Doesn't matter. One Marauder's not going to cut it. Down goes the Nexus. 20 probes and everything else. Cure will bring it back. Incredibly close, but not incredibly close enough. Astrea goes down. A hard fought 2-1 between the Hellions and the Hellion game and that last one. There were opportunities. Honestly, I feel like both players were stretched right to the edge of their ability in that match, which is a credit to Astrea, because Cure he made mistakes. He was keeping so much pressure on. Astrea kept his cool, but at the end of the day, Cure just a little bit calmer and controlled under pressure, finds a weakness, and hammers on it. If you enjoyed, what do you think? Did Astrea need Storm? Are disruptors broken? Or should they be buffed? Is M. Canning an authority on this? Like and subscribe and ring the bell if this is on YouTube. And if it's not on YouTube, well, congratulations. You were here for the live replay cast. Thank you for watching ESL Open